Good day everyone. Ang topic natin today is yung about the history and developments of the helicopter and its configuration. Una, ano ba ang helicopter? So, a helicopter is classified as or it is formally classified as a rotorcraft or a rotary wing aircraft. So, its name or name niya derived from the Greek word helix meaning spiral and pteron meaning wing. So, it perfectly describes its mechanism. So, ang pinaka key differentiator nito ng helicopter sa mga fixed wing is yung kanyang source ng lift. So, unlike airplanes or mga fixed wing na kailangan pa nila mag-generate forward velocity to push air over a fixed wing. Ang helicopter naman, it generates lift, propulsion, and control from its rotating wing or yung mga rotor blades. So this allows or it brings the airflow to the wing rather than the wing to the airflow. So the unique design presents the fundamental challenge in achieving vertical takeoff and landing and also hovering. So this ability requires continuous substantial power to the rotor system to maintain the high RPM necessary to counteract gravity. So the engine isn't just used for forward motion, it is constantly fighting weight. So if the engine or nasira yung engine, namatay, the fight against gravity stops immediately. So ang pagdating sa safety, yung consideration dito, doon na pumapasok si auto rotation, which we will discuss later on. Then, here is ano naman, the historical foundation. So, the quest para pagdating sa vertical flight. So, nagsimula lahat to sa Chinese flying top in 1100 CE. So, ito yung Chinese flying top, it is the earliest known conceptual model ng helicopter. Then, nagkaroon tayo ng formalization or it was formalized in the 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci, which his famous sketch of the aerial screw. Pero, it is purely concept. So, in 1843, nagkaroon naman tayo ng scientific breakthrough kay thanks to Sir George Cayley. So, he provided the first scientific foundation for rotor blade principles and vertical lift mechanics. So, he understood the relationship between the blade area, pitch, and lift, and this signifies the true beginning of aerodynamic theory for rotary flight. And then, in 1907 naman, kay Paul Cornu, nagkaroon rin tayo ng milestone. So, he achieved the first man uncontrolled pre-flight in a twin rotor machine. So, yung kailangan nyo tandaan pagdating kay Paul Cornu, meron tayong term na uncontrolled. So, it is lifted but could not be reliably directed na siya. So, and then, the following naman is, nagkaroon tayo ng huge leap in understanding sa rotor dynamics when it came to 1923 kay Juan de la Cierva. So, or yung gawa ni Juan de la Cierva na autogyro or autogyro. So, the autogyro uses a propeller for thrust and an unpowered main rotor for lift. So its main achievement was demonstrating that a rotor system could be stable and controllable in flight. So De La Ciervas solved the problem of rotor flapping and stability. So yung the knowledge critical to which is the knowledge which is critical to the later success of the helicopter. And then dito na nag-start yung ating or dito na tayo nag-start magkaroon ng practical helicopters. Starting with yung mga gawa ng German, yung Pog Agilist in 1936. So, it is considered the first successful helicopter because it solved the riddle of controllable flight by demonstrating full, reliable cyclic pitch capability. So, the ability to tilt the lift vector and move directionally. And then came to the global standards in 1939. Igor Sikorsky, yung VS-300. Sikorsky established the single main rotor and tail rotor configuration that defines most of the designs today. So his design was very simple, rugged, and reliable. And then in 1951, this one was the final major early development. You was the engine ship in 1951. So Charles Kaman equipped his K225 with a gas turbine. So this invention replaced heavy piston engine, providing vastly improved power to weight ratios and enabling the faster, higher performance helicopters na meron tayo ngayon. So dito makita natin yung ating mga figures or mga itsura ng mga helicopters natin throughout history. Then, next one natin is yung the torque problem and the anti-torque systems. So, the torque problem is the inherent flaw in the single rotor design. So, it is governed by Newton's third law. So, for every action, there is an equivalent and opposite reaction. As the engine imparts a rotational force or yung pinag-usapan natin last time, yung torque, to spin the main rotor, an equal and opposite torque is applied to the fuselage. So, ito yung diagram. So, since nagkakaroon tayo ng torque from our main rotor, kailangan natin to i-counteract. Thus, magkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag nating anti-torque solution or anti-torque system. So, any single rotor helicopter must have a anti-torque system to produce force that perfectly balances the main rotor's torque. So, this system must be continuously adjusted or this system must be continuously adjustable as the main rotor's torque changes instantly with every power change na ginagawa ng mga piloto. So, dito tayo sa ating mga anti-torque systems. So, yung pinakauna natin is yung pinaka-classic, yung sa tail rotor natin. So, it is a small propeller mounted vertically in the tail boom. So, the pilot uses the anti-torque pedals to change the pitch of the tail rotor blades, increasing or decreasing its thrust to perfectly counter the main rotor's torque. So it provides yaw by pushing the tail rotor to the left or to the right. So it depends na yun pagdating sa piloto. So usually it uses 10 to 15% of the engine's power. Kaya medyo maingay siya. And usually vulnerable siya sa mga tight landing spots. And then next one natin is yung mga ducted fan or yung fenestron. So we have an example here. So this one is yung fenestron and then this one is yung ating tail rotor. So sa ating fenestron, it is a newer system that addresses the flaws ng tail rotor. So the fenestron is a tail rotor enclosed within a circular duct in the tail fin. So So this improves safety and it reduces noise and is more efficient and it is more efficient at a higher forward speed. So it is common, usually very common siya sa mga design ng mga Airbus helicopters. And then yung next one natin, ito yung pinaka-advanced na system. Kaya hindi siya masyado pa common, yung no-tar or the no-tail rotor. So this one uses a fan inside the tail boom to push low pressure air out of the or it pushes low pressure air throughout slots along the boom. So utilizing the Coanda effect, wherein yung Coanda effect is the tendency of a fluid jet to be attracted to nearby surfaces. So this provides a cleaner, quieter solution without exposed blades. So, ito yung ating notar. So, ngayon, next natin is yung ano naman natin, mga major helicopter configurations or yung mga itsura or mga types ng ating helicopters. So, una, yung ating single rotor na helicopter, which is pwede na siya matawag the workhorse of the industry kasi sa design niya, it is very simple, efficient, and versatile, which is why it is very popular kahit ngayon. However, it is entirely dependent on the anti-torque system for stability and directional control. If the tail rotor fails, immediately magkakaroon ng emergency action. Doon yung nakikita na umiikot na ng umiikot, nawala na ng control yung helicopter. So, ito yung here's an example no ating single rotor na configuration. So, dito makikita nyo yung wait lang, drawing natin. So, yan. So, ito yung ating main rotor, ito yung ating mga blades. This one is our mass, and this one is our landing gear, or minsan skid siya. This one is yung ating tail rotor. Ito yung ating engine, our fuselage, the tail boom. So, next one natin is yung ating tinatawag naman na tandem helicopter. So, yung ating tandem helicopter, so ito siya. This one, usually sa mga military aircraft siya. So, sa tandem helicopter natin, or usually ginagamit niya is two large main rotors. So, isa sa harap, isa sa likod. Tulad ng sa example natin. So, yung isa sa likod, ito yung nagiging anti-torque system niya. This one counter-rotates. So, magkaiba yung kanilang ikot from the front. Unlike from the aft, iba yung ikot ng ating forward na main rotor. So, because they spin in opposite directions, the torque produced by one rotor is cancelled by the opposite torque of the other. So, ang key advantage nito is eliminated na yung tail rotor loss and yung massive life capacity due to the two full-size rotor discs. So, next one natin is yung ating coaxial na rotor. So, ito naman is yung how do you call this? So, yung coaxial natin is yung basically parang kamukha niya yung mga laruan na helicopters. So, mounted yung blade from on top of the other. So, ito siya. So, balik tayo dito. So, dito, pagdating naman sa coaxial, this results in a incredibly compact design. And maganda siya pagdating sa mga high agility and power na mga mission profile. And then lastly, yung ating intermeshing. Yung medyo baliko yung itsura na angled yung blades, this one. Ayan. Kung papansin nyo, wala rin silang tail rotor. So pagdating naman sa tail rotor, ay sa inter, I'm sorry. So sa pagdating naman sa intermeshing rotors, so it uses two rotors on separately. So slightly angled yung mass niya that counter rotate. So magkaiba yung kanilang direction ng rotation, magkaiba, and perfect yung timing niya para hindi sila magkatama yung dalawang blades. So mechanically synchronize sila to intermesh without hitting. So pinakamagandang example dito is yung K-Max. Ayun yung pinaka prime example natin. So it is specialized for in external load lifting due to its low empty weight and very powerful lift. So pagdating sa single rotor natin, yung single rotor na is the most aerodynamically efficient in forward flight. So the counter-rotating types are more mechanically complex but eliminates power loss due to the tail rotor. However, yun nga, dahil mechanically complicated sila. So, hindi sila masyado nagagamit. Kaya, usually, ang pinaka-common and widely available is yung mga single rotor na configuration. However, the configuration always depends rin pa rin naman sa mission profile ng helicopter. So, next one natin is the primary flight controls and auto rotation. So, flying a helicopter requires the pilot to master the simultaneous coordinate, the simultaneous coordinated use of three primary flight controls. Ito yung tinatawag natin collective, cyclic, and the anti-torque pedals. So, this is why initial helicopter flight training is notoriously very difficult and very rare. Mahirap makahanap ng school na merong rotary wing na capability or rated sila sa rotary wing. So, and another problem pagdating sa if you want na maging piloto ng helicopter, pricey rin siya. So, mas mahal siya in compared to mga fixed wing. So, going back sa topic natin, so sa mga primary flight controls and auto rotation. So, una is the collective stick. So, the collective stick controls the total lift or yung thrust na generate ng ating rotor. So, this directly dictates the vertical movement. So, the altitude, climb, and descent. It changes the pitch angle of all main rotor blades simultaneously and equally. So, pagdating naman sa pilot action, ginagawa ng piloto by pulling the collective up, it increases the pitch and lift. So, and when he pushes it down, it decreases pitch and lift. So, this stick is typically nakalinked to sa engine by a governor or correlator. So, that automatically adds and removes engine power to maintain a constant rotor RPM. So, preventing the preventing the rotor from slowing down when lift is added. And then, next one natin is yung tinatawag nating cyclic pitch control. So, the cyclic stick controls the direction of flight So, yung pitch and roll naman ng ating helicopter. So, the mechanism is medyo complex. So, because it changes the pitch of the rotor blades cyclically. So, meron tayong varying pitch as the blade rotates around the mass. So, this action tilts the tip path plane. So, yung tinatawag nating rotor disc naman, in the desired direction. For instance, pushing the cyclic forward causes the rotor disc to tilt forward. Kaya minsan makikita nyo parang angled yung ating mga rotor blades. So this one is primarily, ibig sabihin lang nun is nag-accelerate yung aircraft in that direction. Then, next one natin, yung ating tinatawag naman na anti-torque pedals. So, the anti-torque pedals control the heading or the yaw naman ng helicopter. So they adjust the pitch angle and thus the thrust of the rotor. So they are essential for two reasons. So una is yung heading control. To intentionally turn the nose from left or right. And then next one is yung torque compensation niya naman na tinatawag is to instantly and precisely maintain the main rotor's torque, especially when the collective is moved up or down. So next one naman natin is the freewheeling unit. The freewheeling unit. So the freewheeling unit is the ultimate safety mechanism na meron ng helicopter. So it is a one-way sprung clutch located between the engine and the rotor transmission. So its function is to automatically disengage the engine from the main rotor if the engine fails. So this allows the main rotor to continue spinning because of the airflow, enabling the pilot to enter auto rotation, yung itinatawag natin kanina pag nagkaroon ng emergency or nagkaroon ng problem sa ating engine, doon papasok yung ating auto rotation, which is controlled or it is a unpowered descent. So the kinetic energy of the spinning rotor is conserved and used to cushion the landing. So turning the rotor system into an effective glider wing. So basically, ito yung version ng helicopters sa pag-glide. So, dito naman papasok yung ating rotor system mechanics and articulation. So, the hub system connects the blades to the mass and defines the helicopter control complexity. So, for control, the blade must be able to move in 3 axes. Ito yun, yung tatlo. So, una is the feathering, the pitch change. So, it is basically the rotation of the blade around the span-wise axis. This is controlled by the swash plate for lift changes. And the next one naman natin is the flapping. So, flapping basically is the vertical movement, yung up and down movement ng ating rotor blades relative to the hub. So, this is critical to balance lift asymmetry or the difference in lift between the advancing and retreating sides of the rotor disc in forward flight. And then next one naman natin is the lead or the lag or the hunting. So the fore and aft movement of the blade in the plane of rotation. This accommodates changes in the blade due to the conservation of angular momentum as the blade flaps up and down. So here ito naman yung ating rotor system classifications. So, una is yung tinatawag nating fully articulated. So, each blade is, and sorry, yung pagdating sa fully articulated, yung each blade natin is individually mounted with separate hinges for flapping, lead, and feathering. So, etong klase ng system or classification, this provides the most dynamic freedom pagdating sa mga rotorcraft. And then next one is yung ating semi-rigid, which it is typically a two-blade system mounted on a tethering hinge that acts like a seesaw. So it flaps as a unit when one blade flaps up. I'm sorry. So it flaps as a unit. So when one blade flaps up, the other flaps down. So it permits feathering and flapping as a unit. And then lastly, yung ating rigid. Or so the rigid blade. So the blades are rigidly fixed to a hub without hinges. So flapping and lead and the motions are absorbed entirely by bending and flexibility of the blade root. Ito lang yung, so ang inaalaw lang naman nito is basically yung feathering. So, ayun lang yung discussion natin for this video. So, thank you.